What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, making their debut on the channel tonight. We have, and I hope I pronounced this right, we have Bridear. Yes, indeed. How about that? Bridear making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all those clicks and those likes and the bibbity boobity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Uzurpan, and Uzurpan wanted to see me react to this song by Bridear called Light in the Dark. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Studio Basic, okay? And the video has 821,490 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Bridear, Light in the Dark. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I like the record static. That's great. I like the direction. I like the feel. I like the energy. I like the tone that everybody's producing. The guitar tones, bass tone. I can actually hear the bass pretty well in the mix. Drums sound good. Bass sounds good. Guitars sound good. Vocals, Very typical of that, you know, J-Rock style of vocalizations, very tight in the throat. There's a lot of female vocalists from J-Rock bands who get that same tone. Not always the biggest fan of it, if I'm being honest, but I mean, it does fit. It does work. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. That intro was good, man. The intro was really good. I liked that intro. When the song kicked in, I felt like the intro might have been a little misleading. I was feeling some really grandioso intro that was supposedly lead into a very grandioso style of song, and instead we're going into this speed riff. You know, it's just like, wait a minute, whoa, that's not quite where I felt the intro leading us to. You know, but it's fine. It does work. It's just it's not exactly what I was expecting. You know what I mean? But it's not a knock. It's just I felt like I was just a little misled. That's all. But this is fine. What they're doing is just fine. Let's keep going. Let's see where this goes. Way more grandiose out. That was a little predictable. When they switched into the halftime feel there, coming out of the guitar solos, it was a little predictable. I kind of saw that coming, but it's okay. I mean, that's a good thing. It's a good thing because that means you're getting what you expected, and it makes perfect sense. So it fit like a glove. From what I'm hearing, everything sounds tight. Everything sounds good. Now, keep in mind, what we are hearing is a studio recording, okay? Here's my question. Can they do this live? Can they play this song live just as clean, just as accurate, just as steady? Can they do this in a live setting? I would love to see that. Look, absolutely no disrespect meant to these girls whatsoever, okay? And I'm not accusing them of anything. I want to be very clear about that. But one thing people have to keep in mind when it comes to studio recordings is Pro Tools is an amazing thing. You can do some absolutely incredible things with Pro Tools. I have sat with engineers and watched them work on just drum tracks for a single song for over 4 hours. And by the time these engineers are done, the drums sound totally different, completely different. Everything is accurate. Everything is lined up. Everything is spot on point as far as beats and subdivisions go. Even the tone has been adjusted. The cleanliness, the compression that gets added. You'd be amazed, man, what it sounds like when you take raw drums and compare it to the drums that come about as a result of 4 hours of work utilizing Pro Tools. It's a huge difference. I've seen these same engineers take guitar solos that, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to name names, but I've worked with some guitar players who, let's just say mediocrity is accepted. Let's just leave it at that. And I've seen these engineers take Pro Tools, take these guitar solos that were, to say they were lacking is a severe understatement. And these engineers will take these guitar solos and put them into Pro Tools and work on them for hours and hours and hours. And they come out, and I swear to you, it sounds like Yngwie Malmsteen, or it sounds like Steve Vai, or it sounds like Joe Satriani, or it sounds like Gary Hoy, whoever it is you're trying to emulate. They actually are able to make it sound like that. It's frightening what Pro Tools can do. And don't think for 1 second that Pro Tools was not utilized in this recording. Of course it was. Now, the extent of work that was needed to, clean up songs and whatnot, that I don't know. I have no clue. Maybe these girls played so tight that the engineer went, I could have this entire album mixed in a day. Maybe it was that tight. Or then again, maybe it was, I need about 5 hours to work on the drums and then we'll go from there. Maybe it's that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how good these girls really are. I don't know how good they are until I would see them in a live setting. Once I see them in a live setting, I'll have a much clearer idea of how talented they really are. As it stands right now, studio recording, I see the potential. I see the ability. I hear the sound. But how much of that was Pro Tools? And how much of it is really them, untouched? I don't know. I have no idea. The only way I'll know is if I ever get to see them live. That's it. So it sounds great. It sounds amazing. I dig what I'm hearing. But I always have to keep in mind studio recordings have been touched up. Now, how much they've been touched up, that's open to debate. But I guarantee you, every album you ever pick up, every song you hear has been touched by Pro Tools in some way or another. So, anyway, let's keep going here. Okay. Clean ending. It wasn't abrupt, wasn't cut off. It was, you got to the downbeat, it stopped right on the downbeat of 1. That's fine. I got no issue with that at all. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's really good. I always have to take studio recordings with a grain of salt. I always do. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Bridear with Light in the Dark. This was a request from Uzurpan. I really hope I'm pronouncing that name right, Bridear. I really hope I am. I don't know if that's correct pronunciation or not. I'm sure in the comments you guys will let me know. I'm sure you will. Okay, I thought about it, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't have to think very long. This score came to me pretty quick. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.4. Yep, 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
It's a great song. I mean, it really is. It's a fantastic song. I dig the song structure on this. The song structure it's very laid out. It's very easy to follow. You have your verse. Well, you have your intro first, right? Intro into verse into pre-chorus into chorus. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. You know, it's set up pretty. Oh, then guitar solo. Yeah, let's not forget guitar solo. Revisited the intro, sort of. Which was interesting. I liked that. I kind of wish the intro had been a little more conducive to the song. Like the way the intro came in, the way the intro was played, it was very grandiose. It was very big, right? It was big. It was chunky. It was intense. And I was expecting this grandiose song, and instead we get this speed riff. Now, is there anything wrong with speed riffs? Nothing at all. Not anything wrong with that whatsoever. I was just like, they're not leading into each other very well. But in the end, though, it all worked out. It all worked out just fine. Fast-paced song, very fast-paced song. And for the song being so fast-paced, the guitar playing, very clean, very accurate. Of course, we have to keep in mind this is a studio recording, and Pro Tools, like I said, is an amazing thing to have. The guitar tone sounded really good. I dug the guitar tone. Nice, thick, crunchy tone without sounding muddy. I could actually hear the bass pretty clear in this. I was very, very happy about that. I didn't have to go looking for the bass. It was right there in my face. I definitely appreciated that. Drumming on this was outstanding. Some great double kick work. Some really tight double kick work. But then it makes me wonder. And this is true of everybody in the band. And this is true of every single studio song, studio recording that you ever hear. You have to keep in mind that everything that you hear was touched by Pro Tools in some way, shape, or form. Now, the extent of work that was done on everything, I don't know. I have no idea. I could give you an idea if I were to hear them play this song live. Like if I were to see these girls live play this song and compare it to the studio album, and then I could look at the two and go, okay, live they're just as clean as they are in studio, so I'll bet you anything the engineer probably didn't have to do a whole lot. The engineer probably didn't have to do hardly a thing. Just, some compression, a little EQing here and there, and little tiny adjustments where needed, and that's going to be pretty much it. Or I could also hear these girls play live and go, okay, yeah, I'll bet the engineer had a field day making this album. I'll bet you he made a fortune for himself because the billable hours for the work he had to put in to clean it up was probably off the chart. I have worked with bands that have been in both positions. I have worked with bands where we literally go in, we record, and it's the engineer's like, I could have this entire thing done in 3 hours, the whole song. Just give me 3 hours and it'll be done. And I've also worked in bands where I've literally sat there with the engineer as he worked on just the drum parts for one song for over 5 hours. And when he was done, man, it sounded incredible. But he earned his paycheck that day working for 5 hours on just drums. That much work was needed because the drumming was that sloppy. I don't know. I don't know what these girls are really capable of. Remember, like I said, this is studio. If I saw this live, if I heard this live, I could give you a much more accurate assessment of what I think of these girls as a whole. All I can talk about is the song. And the song sounded really good. I dug the song, man. I think it's a great tune. Great feel, great attitude, great energy, great drive. Speed was really impressive. I dug the speed, and the cleanliness was also impressive. Only thing I wasn't super thrilled with were the vocal tone. The vocal tone, it's very stereotypical of female vocalists in J-rock bands. They have that little bit of a pinch in their voice. Their voices sound very tight. It's very typical, and I know it's very accepted. I'm not the biggest fan of it personally, but I mean, that's not saying that she did a terrible job. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying I'm not the biggest fan of the tone. You know, but I've said that about every Japanese rock band that I've seen with a female front. The same thing can be said about Psyche from Bandmade. The same thing can be said about Asami from Love Bites. You know, it's very typical. You know, that's just the way they sing. And I'm not, like I said, tonally, just the tone, that tightness, that pinchiness. I've just never been a big fan of it. I've never have been, but it is what it is, and you accept it. So there it is. But 8.4, it's a great score for what I feel is a great song. It's a simplistic, structured song, but what was happening within the parts, what was happening within the phrases, what was happening in the pre-chorus and the chorus and the verses and the breakdown and the solos, that was all extremely well done. Like, great job all across the board. So that's how I'm coming to the score of 8.4. So 8.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.